How do you rebrand a company that's already making 8 figures? When the product is loved, the consumers are loyal, and the numbers are strong, why even touch it? And what happens when the growth plateaus? That's where we come in. We are SimplePlan Media. We help brands find clarity in chaos, combining strategic thinking, storytelling, and digital craftsmanship with branding, marketing, and development. And in episode 1, we cover the groundwork: discovery to understand the brand at its core, research to map the market and its challenges, and positioning to define where Jurassic truly stands. In this season of building a brand, we are taking on one of our most ambitious projects yet. Meet Jurassic Fruit. It isn't your average fruit seller. Founded in Germany in 2010, the company began with a simple but radical idea: to connect people with the purest, most flavorful, exotic, and rare fruits on earth, partnering directly with small ethical farmers from around the world who practice regenerative farming. The founders visit every grove themselves, ensuring every relationship is rooted in trust and respect for nature. Every fruit is harvested to order, guaranteeing peak ripeness and freshness. From durians to mangoes, mangosteens to rambutans, customers can order from Monday to Thursday, choosing from over 2,000 plus SKUs, a curated collection of nature's rarest wonders. The challenge? To evolve a beloved niche brand into a global lifestyle icon without losing its soul. But reimagining a brand starts with understanding it, its roots, its challenges, and the story it wants to tell. That's the purpose of Discovery. With Jurassic Fruit, Yogesh and Rahul sat down with the founders for an in-depth discovery session.
Before the discovery session takes place, we send them a detailed questionnaire for them to fill in their thoughts. So this gives them enough time to consolidate their thoughts, and that's the base of our discovery session.
We talked to Clement and Joffrey,
and they have different takes on different things, which is always healthy because then we get to explore multiple different things. Joffrey wanted a more fun and adventurous brand.
Clement is one of those guys who's very into the business side of things, on the operation side of things.
So during a discovery session, our main purpose is to identify what are the goals from the client's ends. What are the things that they're not even telling us that we have to get out of them. So it covers everything that we have to understand about the brand so that everyone from our team is also on the same page and they can get comfortable with the clients. They came to us looking for a refresh of their website because their current system and the website was pretty outdated. We realized that a lot of new players had already entered into the market. Jurassic Fruits as a brand wasn't standing out as much. That is the major thing that we first told them about, that sure, we can refresh the website, but unless we redo the positioning and make it uniform across all touch points, a lot of things might not change, right?
So one of the goals that they mentioned was to increase their revenue. We looked at a couple of metrics in order to get a better understanding of where they currently are, their client retention rate, how many customers were reordering from them, the rate of acquiring new customers, the conversion rate on the website. When we looked at the acquisition of new customers, it showed that there was a problem because that rate was alarmingly low. And the third part was the conversion rate, which was again on the lower end.
If you have to grow a business, you always have to acquire new customers. So there are two main challenges that we're essentially dealing with. The first one, we have to make sure that the current branding, which is a lot organic and it's very typical of these fresh fruit brands, we have to make it a lot more fun and energetic, right?
And since this is an existing brand, so we need to make sure that we are not alienating the existing customer base.
Rebrands are very different than creating a new brand, because a new brand, you have the complete freedom to do whatever you want. But with an existing business, which is already an 8-figure business, which has such a loyal customer base, that's not going to be good for the brand. And we have all seen the Jaguars of the world, right?
And people are inherently averse to change. So balancing that out for such a huge brand is again something that we'll have to keep in mind.
After identifying these challenges, we knew it was time to dig deeper, to study the brand from every angle. That is where Chahat stepped in as the project lead. She and the team began mapping Jurassic's strength, its story, the market around it, and what consumers really want.
The method that we use for our research is what we've named as the 3 Cs. This is company, consumer, and competitors. Now, from discovery, we have a lot of insights about the company, Jurassic Fruit. It brings out rare exotic fruits sourcing from very wild origins, which none of the other brands were doing. Sure, they had exotic fruits, but like only 20 SKUs. Both the founders have done farming at some point in their life, so they knew the nitty-gritty of agriculture, what are the good techniques, what are the bad techniques. There was no brand that was talking about the exotic side or the wild side, like what rare wonders you're actually getting at your doorstep. For example, mangosteen. It is a very popular exotic fruit. Like, it's the first exotic fruit that people usually try. I couldn't find any brand talking about what mangosteen actually is, how it tastes like. And for this, we created a Google form, and the clients distributed this survey amongst the 4 popular markets: German, France, UK, and Italy. Survey was distributed amongst 1,000 plus consumers. We got to know that 90% of the people were liking the freshness and the quality that Jurassic Fruit offers. The other thing was that many of them said that we got the most rarest fruits on the website. We got to know about fruits that we'd never even heard of. Weekly, they change their fruits also in the discovery box that they're sending. So it's like a mystery box of sorts for people. People loved the product. They loved the brand. They loved the brand, sure, but why? There was no clear answer to it. So with all this research, we figured that everything is there in front of us. We just need to make a narrative around it, something that's memorable for the people, something that they don't forget.
The research gave us the clarity we needed. Patterns started to emerge, and opportunities became clearer. This is where positioning came in.
What is positioning? In simple words, positioning is that one key thing that defines your entire brand. Like Volvo and Apple. We all know Volvo by its safety, and Apple is defined by its innovation. So in essence, positioning defines how a brand is perceived in the minds of the end consumers. It defines your product, it defines your marketing, and it defines the entire culture of your organization. This is exactly why positioning becomes of a key importance for a brand like Jurassic. We are a niche product that is trying to stand out in a crowded market. So people need to actually know what this brand is all about before they buy into the product. So this is what we will be doing next for Jurassic. We will be defining a few different positioning angles, and then we'll shortlist the ones that work for the brand.
So one of the angles that the team thought about was joyful freshness, and this is primarily driven from the founders' emotions. So they wanted to bring joy to the customers in fresh fruits. We've done perceptual mapping. What essentially we are trying to do is we are trying to map out how competitors have positioned themselves in respect to these attributes. So the first one is freshness, and the second one is emotion. So generally when we talk about supermarket brands, they fall low on the freshness level.
Based upon the perceptual mapping that we did, this would still be a fresh fruit brand and it will still bring joy to the consumers, but we'll be on the extreme end of it, which I think there is a gap in the market.
So we can focus on freshness, seasonal excitement, and these are some of the core angles that we can play around.
This sort of positioning will help us to stand out in the already sort of crowded market. When most brands are trying to play on sustainability and freshness, that could be a unique differentiator that we are trying to play on joy and freshness.
So the biggest downside with this angle is that we aren't able to focus on the rarity aspect, which is one of the key differentiators of the brand. This sort of angle can be replicated by a supermarket as well. They can focus on bringing joy and freshness to the customers.
Yeah.
So from that aspect itself, this is not a very strong positioning angle that we should focus on. And this is a classic David versus Goliath positioning framework. You focus on industry flaws and you go against it. Like a prime example of this would be the whole truth in the Indian market. And they are debunking a lot of myths that go around these food supplements.
In this perceptual map, what we have done is we are going for conventional and disruptive in one axis, and we are going for safe and mainstream along with bold and authentic in the other axis. So as you can see, the supermarket chains fall in conventional along with safe and mainstream sort of positioning. Organic startups are a little more on the bold and authentic end, but again, they are still conventional and mainstream. But we want to position ourselves as a complete rebellious sort of a brand. So we'll be extremely bold, extremely authentic, and we'll be extremely disruptive. And that's how we would stand out in this positioning angle.
And one of the key insights that led to this sort of positioning was that the consumers wanted to know about how these fruits are being produced.
So this positioning angle resonates with younger, empowered audience. We want to tell our consumers what is our supply chain and how we are solving it.
But one of the key drawbacks with this angle, and especially for a brand like us, is that it would sound too niche. It would alienate a lot of customers. Most of our customers are in their 30s or early 40s. So from that point of view, again, this would be a risky sort of angle to move ahead with. The primary reason for picking this positioning angle was that during the survey, we noticed that 90% of the consumers said that our fruits taste different, which is like a great feedback, and that is what we wanted to capitalize on.
Plus, the Untamed along with Jurassic, it fits in very well because it gives that adventurous edge to the brand.
This sounds exciting straight off the bat. The dimensions that we focused on was accessibility and taste. We mapped out different competitors, how they position themselves in these particular attributes. So if we talk about supermarkets or local sellers, from a taste, freshness point of view, they are on the very low end of the spectrum. Then there are luxury imported brands. They are high on the rare exploratory angle, so less accessible. Then the third category was organic health brands. They fall, like they are mildly accessible. Their freshness is also okay. The best part about this angle is that it's not very easy to replicate because we are including our supply chain mechanism in it, and very few brands could actually do what we are doing.
And with every positioning angle, we do have some cons to this angle too. This one could feel a little too premium for the first time buyers. It could alienate someone who is just looking for fresh fruits and they're looking from just a sustainable brand. So that could be a risk in this angle. So these were the three angles, and I think all three of them have their pros and cons. I think all three of them are strong angles to present to the client. We are, I think, collaboratively confident about the third one the most. But I think if the client picks any one of them, I think we can make it work. So let's see how it goes.
Each angle had something to offer. Joyful freshness brought vibrancy, Fruit Rebellion brought attitude, and Taste the Untamed brought curiosity and real flavor. Yogesh and Rahul presented the three positioning angles to the client, vouching for the third.
So we just got off the call with the clients. We presented the positioning angles and they agreed. They loved the Taste the Untamed angle, and I'm pretty satisfied. This is what we wanted to go with.
I'm very satisfied too.
Bold, sensory, and rooted in nature's wild truth. Selected for its balance of authenticity and adventure, it captures what makes the brand real. It connects with curious customers seeking honesty, discovery, and trust. The challenges ahead for SimplePlan is translating this idea into design, experience, and storytelling.
We could use something else. No?
In the next episode, we dive into the strategy and art direction that bring Taste the Untamed to life. If you enjoyed this journey, consider hitting the subscribe button. This is SimplePlan Media, and you're watching Building a Brand.